Okay, so today's workout is going to be a weight workout. I'm going to give you 5 different exercises, and you're going to do 10 reps for each exercise and work through that whole thing for 5 rounds. All right? So, first exercise we're going to do is a clean and press to a squat and press. I've shown this one before, but again, for those of you just starting out, if you want to use weight, you can, but for this exercise, you don't necessarily have to. So let's start with just the basic squat. If you're holding weights for this, you can either hold the weights so that they're hanging in between your legs, or you can just hold them at your chest. All right? So basic squat. Feet are going to be slightly wider than hip width apart. We're going to have a bend through the knees to start. Your weight is going to be on the back of your feet or the heels of your feet as opposed to on the front portion of your feet. We're going to come down like we're sitting down into a chair, making sure that our knees don't go past our toes. All right, so we're going to come down. You're going to go as far as you can. Your goal is to try and get your legs to be parallel with the ground. Okay, from here, you're going to press up, driving through the hips, squeezing your glutes, okay? So again, come down and squeeze through, all right? If you want to add the press to that, start with the weights just in front of your shoulders. You're going to do your full squat. As you come up, you're going to press your arms up towards the ceiling. So that's 1, 2, all the way up to 10, okay? If you want to incorporate the clean and press, again, you're going to start with your knees slightly bent. You're going to bend forward from the hips, making sure that your back is straight and your chest is up. Your weights are going to be on the ground, okay? You're going to lift up, pressing through the hips. Bring the weights up to your chest. Press up to the ceiling. And then as you come down, you're going to squat and then press up. Okay? And then you're going to bring the weights back to the ground. So that's 1, 2, 3. Clean and press to squat and press. Okay, all the way up to 10. Next exercise is a chest press to a skull crusher. So for those of you just starting out, if you want to start with just the chest press, if you don't have a bench, you can do it on the ground. That's totally fine. But if you do have a bench, you're going to lay on your back with your knees bent. We're going to start with our hands pointing towards our feet. And what we're going to do is we're going to bend our elbows until they get to about 90 degrees. So if you're just starting out, I want you to stop at that point and then press back up. Okay? So if you're doing this on the ground is automatically going to stop you. But if you're on a bench, I want you to control it so that you bend your arms to 90 and then press back up. If you want to incorporate a little bit more of the skull crusher into it, you're going to do your chest press, bring it down, come back up, turn your palms in so that they face each other, keep your elbows locked in that position, bend the elbows, and then press back up, okay? Sorry, what I mean by keeping the elbows in that position is that you don't want your elbows to fan out sideways. Try and keep them pointing straight up towards the ceiling, and then just bend at the elbow, control it, and then press back up for the tricep press, okay? So if we want to start from the beginning, we're going to start with our chest press. We're going to come down, press through, turn our palms in, bend at the elbow, press was 1 rep. And then for those of you who want to do the skull crusher portion, you're going to do your chest press. Bring it up, turn the palms in, bend the elbows, and then you're going to slowly lower your arms towards the ground. Bring them back up and extend through. Okay, so that's 1. Chest press and skull crusher. 2. Okay, all the way up to 10. Next exercise is a walking lunge. So again, if you're just starting out, you don't have to do this with weight. When we do our lunges, we're making sure that we step forward enough that our front knee, when we plant it and start to go down, it's not going in front of our toes. And then we come back up, step forward, down and up, step forward, down and up. Okay, so those are the walking lunges. If you don't have enough room to do 10, try and do 5, turn around and come back. If you really don't have a lot of room, you're just going to do a step forward lunge. So you're going to step forward, come down, press back up, step back. Then you're going to alternate. So that's 1, that's 2, 3, all the way up to 10. Next exercise is anterior and lateral raises. So, for those of you just starting out, or if you already have a shoulder injury, make sure that you're starting out with very light weight. The muscles, the small muscles of the shoulder aren't that strong to begin with. So if you are using a lot of weight, you're actually using the larger outer muscles of the shoulder, and so you're not getting the stabilization because you're not recruiting the right muscles if you use too much weight. So keep it low to start, and that will be helpful for strengthening your shoulders a little bit more quickly. All right, so anterior raises, hands are going to go straight out in front. So we're going to start with our weights just in front of our thighs. We're going to lift the weight with straight arms, straight ahead of us, so that they're shoulder height, and then bring them right back down. Then we're going to turn our hands out to the side, and we're going to lift to the side so that the weight is no higher than our shoulders, and then we bring them back down. So that's 1. That's 2, all the way up to 10. The reason I'm having you go up just to shoulder height is so that you're not putting a lot of strain on the shoulder joint right in through here, which is called the AC joint. Okay? So again, just be careful with these. If you start to feel a pinching sensation in your shoulder, go ahead and stop and let it rest. Okay? And then the last exercise I'm going to have you do is a standing row to a fly. So these exercises are very similar, so I put them together so that you could see the difference between the 2 exercises. So standing row. Again, feet are going to be slightly wider than hip width apart, knees are going to be bent. You're going to lean forward for this exercise. Okay? So we're going to keep our elbows in nice and tight for the row. Lift your elbows up to the ceiling. Bring it back down. Keep your elbows bent slightly and bring the arms out. So that's your standing fly. From the side, going to be here, bend, lift up the elbows towards the ceiling, squeezing the shoulder blades together. Bring it down, keep the elbows slightly bent, and lift up towards the side. Okay? So again, you have to do 1 row and 1 standing fly. That counts as 1 rep, and you're going to do 10 of those. So So this last exercise is really good for scapula stabilization. All right, so again, hopefully you guys find this helpful. If you're looking to just strengthen a little bit more endurance-wise, you're going to do 10 to 15 reps and go through the 5 rounds. If you're looking to build up muscle or bulk up, you're going to decrease the number of reps that you're doing, either 6 to 8, or either 6 or 8, and increase your weight.